welcome back to Armstrong Acres. Today I'm gonna give you the official homestead and property tour. Just a little bit of a backstory. So we moved in the week before Christmas last year, so 2021. That was when we got the keys to this house. We made the 200-mile move from the Metro Detroit area up to where we are now around Thanksgiving of last year. And we had a connection through my dad who had a cottage that they weren't using for the fall and winter months, that they graciously rented out to us until we could close on our house. And like I said, we got the keys the week before Christmas, and it has been an adventure ever since. We jumped in with both feet and hit the ground running, and it amazes me how, number one, how quickly the last year has gone by, and number two, how much we've gotten done in a year. And it just excites me so much to think about how much more we're going to be able to accomplish as time goes on. It took us literally a decade to be able to get to the point where we're at now and to be able to pursue this life. And I could sit here and talk about that forever, but I won't. I will just say how incredibly lucky I feel to be where we are now, and that I didn't know how badly I wanted this life until I finally had it. The chickens, the land, the everything, the garden, I didn't know how much my soul needed that until we had it. So it's been a really great experience so far. But anyway, without further ado, let's start the tour. So we took on a big project this year with the house. We replaced the roof with a metal roof, and then we built a front porch. I've wanted a front porch for as long as I can remember, and I'm so thankful that Tim was able to make that dream come true for me. We are so close to it being finished, but I am so in love with how it came out and the way it's transformed our house completely. We also have a lean up front that I eventually want to move to the back and use as an animal shelter when we finally have the need for it. And then over here, we've got our wood boiler. This thing has been a lifesaver in keeping the house warm and keeping propane costs down. We did have to do some initial maintenance to it because I don't think the previous homeowners really knew how to use it and make it work to its full potential, but now it's running great and we haven't had any issues with it. And then of course we've got our pole barn here, with our Armstrong Acres sign. That was Tim's 10th wedding anniversary gift from me. And then we're not going to talk about the mess that we have to clean up out there, but we've got our rabbits, we've got our chickens. The watering system is working great. The winterizing that I've done has not. One bad windstorm and it was totaled. We've got a small pond here that we put in when we got ducks. We no longer have the ducks, but we decided to keep the pond. We need to drain it for the year though. This little building, we got this for free from a coworker of Tim's. I'm probably going to use it to house animals at some point down the road. And then from here, we'll head over to the garden area. I've got some pretty big plans to expand the garden quite a bit next year, which I'm really excited about. This year, 2 beds just did not cut it at all. I bought 2 semi-dwarf apple trees late this summer. I've got a Brayburn and a Macintosh. I don't know if they're going to do well, but I'm going to try really hard to make sure that they do. I overcrowded my beds during the spring and I got really poor results. So right now I've only got some peas and some broccoli left, but I am going to build at least 2, maybe 4 more garden boxes to fill up this area here. And then I'm going to kind of make them into horseshoes and fill that part with herbs. I'm really excited to do that over the winter and get it ready for spring. This. I don't even know what this was supposed to be, honestly. But like most other things on this property, it didn't get finished. But if we cut through this little clearing here, we'll go ahead and hit the trail that leads to the back portion of our property. So our next task is going to be to clear out a lot of this wooded area here to build our pig pen. We got a really great deal on some fencing equipment from Facebook Marketplace. We're going to get pigs next spring, and I cannot wait to get this started. But if we continue this way, we're going to reach the gas line easement that runs through our property. That is the area where we can't dig or put any kind of permanent structure, but it's not completely useless because it does grow a ton of wild blackberries. And while I'm not a fan of blackberries myself, everyone else in the house absolutely love them. So there is another trail opening right here that'll take you to the back of the property, but I'm going to take you guys this way because first I want to show you what we've got so far for a firewood supply. I don't know whether it's going to be enough to get us through the winter. We do have a ton of it, but we also got started very late in the year with collecting because we were so busy with the roof and the porch. We got a later start than we wanted to. But this is what we've got so far for wood. Again, I don't know how long it's going to last us, but I would think it's going to last us a while. One of the first things we did out here was take a brush hog and kind of groom some trails. None of that had really been done previously, but we wanted to make it as accessible as we could so that we could hunt out here. And eventually if we get, four-wheelers or whatever, we can ride them out here. So that was one of the first things we did was kind of make some trails. Now, this is something that's probably been pointed out to me before, but I completely forgot about it. Apparently, they built a ladder stand at some point. We didn't, and I wouldn't go up there because it looks sketchy as hell, but it's there anyway. And then coming up here, we've got a little chicory blend planted here. We get a lot of deer traffic. We've got a blind that was built on the property. That's in rough shape. I'm going to go ahead and make a whole separate video about cleaning it out and making it usable again. But at least we have it. It's better than nothing. Oh, look. A deer track. It's a good sign. So from here, I'm going to take you guys back to some of my favorite parts of our property, hands down. I don't get out here as often as I would like to right now. Part of it is intentional because I don't want to disturb the deer activity. But during the summer, I took evening walks back here almost every night after the kids went to bed, and it was one of my favorite things to do. So one of my not so favorite parts is this ghastly pile of garbage. It was a hunting blind at some point in its glory days. It's made out of trash, and we just haven't had the time to come take it apart. But this always gets me. The way the sunlight comes through those pine trees and just puts that like golden glow over the moss. There's just this thick, rich green moss everywhere back here. And I don't know what it is about that just seems so beautiful to me, but it's one of my favorite places. But when we moved in, like I said, it was the week before Christmas, and we had probably 2 feet of snow on the ground easily. So we didn't have the opportunity to get out and explore our land until the spring. And when we did, what I'm about to show you was a complete surprise. We had no idea that we had what we had. Tim was actually the first one to actually go out and walk the property. And then when he did that, he came right back and was like, babe, you got to come out here and see this. And now I know why. And that's because now we've got the piece de resistance. The swamp. If you can't find me and I'm outside and I'm not with my chickens, chances are I'm out here. I don't know. This always just kind of reminds me of like the landscapes that you see on like those Alaskan bush people shows and whatever. I just think it's so beautiful, and the fact that it's ours just blows my mind. It's picturesque bear country. We did have a bear on the property. Actually, that was on our front steps. That was a crazy experience in itself. But it's also just the most beautiful deer sanctuary. Like, no one has been hunting it, so they have no reason to be skittish or anything. So they're constantly traveling through here. There are deer trails everywhere. It's also packed to the brim with wild blueberries in the summer, which I was thrilled to discover. Look, case in point, there's a deer trail that's running right here. But the berries, oh my gosh. We picked so many blueberries this past summer. I was able to make homemade blueberry muffins from scratch using berries from our property. I was able to make blueberry pancakes and then cook up eggs from our own chickens. And that was like my first real small taste of like self-sufficiency, sort of. Just having this beautiful property that gives us so many different things. It's incredible. And even almost a year later, I can't believe that it's ours. I also happened to accidentally make another pretty cool discovery about what we've got going on back here. Thank God for plant identification apps. So I had noticed these really light green round berries growing really close to the ground during the summertime. And this is what they look like now. They are cranberries. That's right. We have our own cranberry patch, bog, whatever you want to call. I don't know. I went through and picked quite a bit about 2 or 3 weeks ago, and I thought I got them all, but apparently I didn't, because there's still a lot left behind. We are going to have an early Thanksgiving dinner with my parents. They're coming up from downstate about a week from now. So I'm going to try my hand at making a homemade cranberry sauce with these cranberries. I completely expect it to be nothing short of a disaster. So I'll probably also keep like canned cranberries on hand. Because I have no faith in my abilities to do anything like that yet. But I'm going to try. I think it's so cool that we have cranberries growing. I never would have guessed. But, like, look at that. That's beautiful. And then as we come back out of the swamp, it brings us right back where we started, by the garbage pile hunting blind. All right, guys. Well, that about sums up our homestead tour. Thank you so much for watching. I'm going to keep putting out content as frequently as I can. The internet up here in God's country, it is not great. On average, it takes about 2 days for me to upload one single video, which is frustrating, but there's not much I can do about that. But I am going to keep putting out stuff as frequently as I can, because like I said, I'm really enjoying doing this. So if you like what you've seen, hit that subscribe button and stay tuned for more from Armstrong Acres.